So I want to have a little talk on the nature of science. Um, uh, this is not very talked about usually, but science, in a sense, originates from war. Like historically speaking, there's a reason why Africa, outside ancient Egypt, because that has a scientific culture, and basically it was developing early cradle of civilization. But the reason why Africa in general, or Polynesia, or Americas before European colonization, with the Indians, the reason why those never developed is because they never had a true warlike culture. It was more tribal, and tribal disputes often are long in scales. So if you take like Asia, the Middle East, and also including ancient Egypt and European history, they have always been in war. Like science has always been a way of paving developments, and that has created this circle of scientific community because war, in a sense, has shaped science. Maybe if you exclude the theocracy in the Middle Ages, or even that kind of does still exist around the world, but generally speaking, war has in lots of ways shaped the scientific world. In terms of creating an environment where intellectuals create a way to outsmart the enemy and still defend their land, and or come up with new ideas on how to make it more comfortable for s- um, their own citizens, or maybe mankind, as you could say it. But it's plague on war in those ways, the inventions and such. Um, Now, I'm not saying this because I'm a pro-war guy. If I mean, God forbid, if it was like a war with nuclear nation, then we will all just die in a matter of second. Like that would be that long that that war would last, and everybody would essentially die. Because everybody would get involved, and everybody would just be vaporized and die of illness. So that would not be good. So I'm not saying I am pro-war, but I am saying that the nature of war has actually what has developed the scientific circles. And I just want to mention that because I don't think this is talked about, because people often speak of science in a positive light, and it has created a lots of good things. Like refrigerators, you know, uh, cars, like calculators, or easier way to communicate, like I'm using now, like the PC. So there's lots of good things that technology has done, but the nature of the science, um, in the nature of how it came to be. I just want to mention the nature of that because I don't think a lot of people like to mention that because it's negative. But I think I want to mention that because I think it's important to know a little bit about the nature of how it originated. I just don't think people talk about it too often. So that's what I want to say, really. Let me know what you think. Thank you for listening, and bye.